Good afternoon, team. It's been a long time since I've gotten one of these to you. I used to call them weekly updates, and I'm going to keep calling them weekly updates because though they might not come every week, I want them to be weekly. So as my workload permits, I'll be getting these to you. But today's a special day, and that's because it's the day of Ascension that we celebrate in the church. And I was in prayer this morning, and this app that I use talked about the day of Ascension. But this is really cool because on May 23rd is Global Day of Prayer, and we're having an event at the church at 6 o'clock that night that is gathering many worship leaders in Katy to lead this. There's going to be people praying in their native tongue. And it's really to gather with all the churches in the world that on the day of Pentecost, which is this May 23rd, they will, it's a global day of prayer. So I want to invite you to that. But Ascension, the day of Ascension, is important for this reason. In Acts chapter 1, verse 6, so when they had come together, they asked him, Lord, will you at this time restore the kingdom to Israel? He said to them, it is not for you to know times or seasons that the Father has fixed by his own authority, but you will receive power when the Holy Spirit has come upon you, and you will be my witnesses in Jerusalem and in all Judea and Samaria and to the ends of the earth. When he had said these things, and they were looking on, he was lifted up, and a cloud took him out of their sight. And while they were gazing into heaven as he went, behold, two men stood by them in white robes and said, Men of Galilee, why do you stand looking into heaven? This Jesus who was taken up from you into heaven will come in the same way as you saw him go into heaven. So what Jesus is talking about there before he ascends is this promised Holy Spirit that will come upon you. And it was in the day of Pentecost that the Holy Spirit came. And you can read about the tongues of fire that were resting on the disciples' heads and the power with which they now exhibited that Jerusalem and all who had come to Jerusalem because of this festival saw. This day of Ascension begins a focused prayer movement to ask for the power of God to come upon us again, for the Holy Spirit to come upon us in power. And then we celebrate that by Pentecost on May 23rd for our global day of prayer. So I just want to share that with you. And I wonder if you would spend the next week and a half in focused prayer, asking God to visit us again in power, to rain down with tongues of fire upon his people, that we may be filled with the Holy Spirit in a way that allows us to witness without fear to the power of God, witness to an unbelieving community, those around, about the power of God. But when he gives us that power, we do so not with our own strength, but with the power of God. So friends, as you live this day out, I pray that you would join me in focused prayer and then join me again on May 23rd for the Global Day of Prayer. But happy Ascension Day to you, and let's be looking out for that visiting of the Holy Spirit. I do want to ask a special prayer request, guys. I've been struggling with acid reflux for over a year. Last night as I sang, my voice just told me it didn't like it. It was painful, and I was hoarse afterwards, which I am oftentimes after I sing, but I've been addressing it with medicine, and it just doesn't seem to be helping. So just pray for me, please, for healing in my vocal cords and healing in my stomach acid, that it wouldn't come up into my esophagus anymore. It's more specifically that little flap that keeps the acid out of your esophagus. That's what I need to do its job. So if you guys would pray for me, and just pray for direction and clarity. Like, what am I supposed to do? I'm a singer for the church, so what do I do with that? All right, guys. Love y'all very much. And I'll see you soon, hopefully. Thank you for all that you do for this church. Please subscribe and hit the notification bell. And I will be coming at you weekly, bi-weekly, hopefully not monthly. All right. See y'all later.